Lined up at the bottom, Tyler in the backfield. Downfield, he's got Eskridge. Inside the 10-yard line.
Got to get up to the line right now.
Western Michigan's going to have a chance.
Spike the ball down.
They'll throw it to a wide open hole. Touchdown, Broncos.
Did you hear a whistle?
Caleb, did you hear a whistle?
I heard it, the faintest sound.
But what does my rule book say? What does my rule book say? We'll talk about the game later. But what does my rule book say? If it's cool, it counts.
It happens.
Was it cool?
It counts. Yes. I
So
jumped out of my seat.
review,
Yes.
Caleb, what's the rule?
That was pretty cool.
Pretty damn cool. Welcome to Mac Football Forever. I'm Alex Alvarado. That's Caleb Carter. We are 2 weeks into the 2020 Mac Football. My God, what am I saying? We are 2 weeks into the Mac Football season in the fall of 2020. This is weird, man. Like I expected us to get through the first day, but now saying that we're through 2 weeks of football in the fall of 2020, weird.
I don't purport to know what time of the week, month, or year it is anymore.
What would you say? 150,000 daily? Okay. Anyways, we have a second week of MAC football to look back on, though, and to actually thoroughly enjoy. Oh my God, we didn't deserve any of this. We're getting way more college football than anybody deserves. And holy crap, are we spoiled. As us Maction sickos, we are absolutely spoiled from everything that happened right here.
I mean, we got the combination of just absolute weird nonsense in the NIU game, from faulty snaps to weird phantom, just false start motions. And
if you stuck around and watched Central NIU, one, shame on you, but two, at least you had something to enjoy. I mean, you got something no one else got to enjoy, so that's good on you. But I mean, don't brag about it.
You watched Akron outgain Ohio. That in itself seems absurd, and that wasn't even the watchable game.
We're going to review each of the 6 games. We're going to do it in just roughly 12 minutes. Roughly 12 minutes total. We're going to divide up time as we feel fit as we go along. But I'll tell you the scores of everything before we get going. Buffalo beat Miami 42-10. Ball State beat Eastern 38-31. Ohio beat Akron 24-10. Central beat NIU 40-10. Kent State beat Bowling Green 62-24. And then we're going to end on Western Toledo because that's so good. But Western beat Toledo 41-38. We're going to review those games as quick as possible. And then we're going to talk about a former MAC player who unfortunately lost his life to cancer, Titus Davis. We're going to go back and we're going to flip the mood back to happiness. We're going to give out some helmet stickers, and we're going to hand out this week's game ball.
I'm down.
Caleb, I'm starting my timer. You don't know how much time is on the clock. But as soon as you start talking about whatever game that isn't Western Toledo, we will get going.
Let's just start where we've already established. Didn't really matter much, but still some interesting things to talk about. Ohio Akron. It was the type of game that going in, I remember saying in our preview that I bet Akron plays Ohio more competitively. I don't doubt that Ohio's going to win, but I do expect Akron to play more competitive football. They did. They outgained Ohio. They demonstrated a rushing attack. Alex?
Hey, I don't want to spend too much time on this game, but there's a lot of positivity coming out of Akron. There's a lot of negativity coming out of Ohio. It's a weird emotional game afterwards. But Akron is pretty fun to root for. Hey, want to hear something funny from the box score? Akron had 20 first downs. Ohio had 15.
That doesn't sound – I don't doubt you're right. It just seems ludicrous to think that offense did that.
Shouts out Tion Dollard. I never expected Akron to have a 100-yard rushing performance from its running backs. And holy crap, he's the next Juwan Chisholm, I guess.
I was about to say we're going to have a freaking Juwan Chisholm mention. I was hoping that was coming because he was the last good pack Akron really had. I mean, other than that, Jeremiah Wright's done some really good stuff for them as kind of a versatile guy, but they're just still finding a groove. Not much more to say about the offense other than they've got a coherent plan and they're starting to execute.
Kent State, Bowling Green. Kent State put up 62 huge points. The freshmen got involved. Bowling Green's just not in a good place. Matt McDonald was 6 of 20 passing. There's a lot of pulse on Bowling Green, don't get me wrong, but there's just not a lot of efficiency going on. So when they do move the ball, it's fun and exciting and fast and furious and all that crap. But when they're not, they just kind of look like the Bowling Green of old sometimes. Kent State, hey, they just look fluid and awesome, and they're 2-0 in the East. Can't wait until the day they play Buffalo.
They showed their Pokey is a guy that maybe is that answering the bell of us asking who's their number 2.
Who's the number 2? Right.
But a lot of faces showing up in the box score in the box score and the stats. So really encouraging night for Kent State to show off some other guys on a night where they should show out against a bad Bowling Green defense.
Matthew Trickett sadly missed a field goal.
No. How's he going to win the MAC Special Teams Player of the World now? Well, it's not
Buffalo, Miami. Spill some time on this, man. I already spilled some time on a earlier video if you want to check that out. But I'm going to let you have the floor for just a moment here and talk about Buffalo, Miami.
Sure. And, I mean, as the game that I paid the most attention to on Tuesday, it kind of – what I was able to see demonstrated by the Buffalo offense in the passing game kind of just left me a little dumbfounded. Because the way we talk about Kyle Van Treese heading into the season was just you don't want to – and these are my words, not Alex's – you don't want to remember Kyle Van Treese's game name at the end of the night if you're Buffalo. You just want him to be a game manager and get the ball to Antonio Nunn when you can, get it to the tight ends. They've got some decent tight ends, and obviously the running backs take care of business. But good God, did Van Treese look good throwing the ball down the field. And a lot of that credit goes to the offensive line that is really unheralded, nothing flashy about them, but they've just continued to be good under Lance Leipold's tenure. After some decent early competitiveness, Buffalo really did look like the best team in the MAC. And to expose a talented Miami secondary and just stifle the Red Hawks pass rush was kind of flabbergasting.
Yeah, energy is neither produced nor created. It's rather transferred. And Miami had none, which meant Buffalo had all the energy. Once Buffalo realized that Miami was not going to have its fun time, like it was going to play catch up with itself all day, Buffalo realized, hey, let's take it easy, guys. Let's take it easy. Let's have some fun here. And they did.
Full speed. Yeah. It was ridiculous to watch them do that to the defending Mike James.
Let's talk about some West games. Let's talk about some West games on Wednesday. Let's talk about Eastern and Ball State and get that over with because I don't want to talk about it. Last week when we picked the games, I said, I'm picking Caleb Huntley. And what did he do? Have the best performance possible. The best performance possible.
He did a lot. I requested
4 yards, 3 scores, 6 per carry, just bulldoze through it. My scouting report, which you can find on Twitter, and you can quote me later in the draft cycle when that time comes around. He runs like he's pro fracking.
Drills it right through the middle. Yeah. Explosions. I requested this time from Alex, you got to let me talk about Caleb Huntley because, good God, as a guy who played running back, no humble bird, when I was in school, I love the way he runs so much because every arm or body on him only serves to slightly slow him down. And he'll make slight cuts. He'll evade some guys here and there, but for the most part, he's just running through arm tackles and just kind of ill-executed tackles. And Alex pointed out before the game, EMU has a hard time tackling. They're going to have trouble with Caleb Huntley. The Cardinals stuck to the game plan in that respect, got him established, and he never slowed down, including scoring the winning touchdown with 6 seconds left. Cool videos of the touchdown scoring and the reaction from the team, but very few fans. And just watching Caleb Huntley just run over and through and even backpedaling through the secondary, running over guys with his butt. I have never been in awe of him. I don't know that Jarrett Patterson might be the best running back in the MAC, but I enjoy watching Caleb Huntley more than anybody in the Mid-American Conference right now.
True or false, Caleb Huntley gets drafted before Jarrett Patterson?
False, because Caleb Huntley is probably a guy that is either at the very end or undrafted.
Central, NIU. Hey, you used to be a beat writer, and specifically you covered the Huskies. Does this confirm your priors?
Well, heading into this game, I think I predicted like an 18-point Central victory, something along those lines. It ended up being 30. NIU has no answer offensively. And, I mean, at this point, you're lucky if you're NIU to have Tyrese Ritchie because he's just catching like 8, 9, 10, 11-yard passes with consistency. And then after that, I mean, Cole Tucker gives you a little bit, and then there's other receivers who contribute here and there, but they don't trust the running backs. Aaron Collins hasn't given a big boost, but a lot of that's because the offensive line play has been really, really poor so far. And that's not because of youth. They have older guys who have experience. It's just things are not going well for them right now. I would think with more time, they'll have some stuff figured out, but NIU is about as bad at this point as we thought it could have been. And Central, even in a game where they didn't play that well, they were up 9-0 at halftime, still managed to kind of just run roughshod in the second half, especially on the ground.
Yeah, it was pretty not great for CMU. Not a very polished performance, but it was obviously more than enough to beat NIU. The new Akron. NIU, the new Akron.
Oof, that hurts.
NIU, the new Akron. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time because it feels great. NIU is – okay, no, I'm not going to finish
You're going to see, and then you're going to say that, and we're gonna like 2 years from now, they're going to be back to winning 9 games.
Anything for engagement. Speaking of engagement, let's commit the rest of the time on this timer to Toledo Western. Oh,
do we have like 20 minutes? Can we add another 20 minutes to the clock?
I'm not going to tell you when this timer goes off, but
30 minutes?
Let's go.
45 minutes? Dude, okay, so first of all, Toledo early in the night did not look like anybody was going to stop them offensively. They looked like they just had game planned perfectly for Western's defense. Like, Esposito, dude, you ain't got nothing on us. Like, whatever you think you've got a plan, no. And I know it was 14-14 early, but Toledo was taking any punch Western delivered, and Western was always going to, and answered right back. Peters looked great. The running backs were getting a fair amount of touches between them. Peters that offense doesn't rely on anybody in terms of the passing attack. It's just, we've got 8 or 9 guys that we're going to throw the ball to. And Peters looked so good. And I still contend at the end of the night, he did not deserve that result. I also think that my profile on Peters has risen exponentially the last 2 weeks. All that said, Western Michigan's the one who came out on top. How good was that finish, dude?
The last, I don't know, 4 minutes of that game, 4 minutes, like, if you finally tuned into this game when Toledo went for it on 4th and 11 on their Western's 15-yard line, I think it was. Bryant Goback had got the ball, was going out of bounds, was stopped basically a yard short, but was granted the first down after review. They marked it like he got it on the field too. So yeah, and as they put out the chains for the measurement, they put the chain down, marked the first down, and the broadcaster said, "Ball game."
Yeah, he did. I remember.
That's the best part. And to make it better, like, Toledo did score on the drive, and then Western came back and they played like very efficient, like, football. They kept throwing like quick outs to the running back to, chew up only six seconds of the clock, but get 14 yards downfield at a time. Essentially, it kept working to Western's advantage to get downfield in a hurry. Scored against Toledo, and then Thiago Caps comes in, misses the PAT.
Of course he did.
Then the broadcaster, he spoke too soon again because he said, "Peak Maction." Peak Maction. No, it wasn't, buddy. There's still time on the clock, and you're yelling peak Maction now. Thiago Caps, same guy, gets his own onside kick way downfield again. Gets all the way to the, I think it was like the 3 or the 4 yard line. They hear a slight whistle. Some of the Toledo players kind of, get up and kind of laxadays around, but Western hurries up, snaps the ball. Caleb Ellaby fakes the spike, which he doesn't have to do.
He didn't have to do that.
Throws it all the way to Jalen Hall, who was wide the hell open, even after the fake spike, which was more than enough time to figure out that there's a play going on. Someone go get that 6'4" guy way the hell over there.
Yeah.
Get that skyscraper from catching this. Oh, and that was the ball game.
Like, let's just talk about all the things that happened in such a short span there. Even just like starting after the kickoff or after the onside kick, you know, as stupid as that was, like, oh, did he touch it before 10 yards? No. One of Toledo's returners flubbed it, trying to fall on it. And, you know, they get the ball back. They quickly just do. Eskridge catches that ridiculous. I mean, he made nice catches on it. I think it was like seven receptions from him.
He's more of a legit NFL receiving prospect than I had anticipated coming into the year. I knew he was going to be like athletic and fast as shit. I didn't think he was that good at the wide receiver part. The
readjusting catch he had on the sideline that LB threw high and outside that he had to turn his body against he made that look a little too easy. And that like type of play is exactly what falls in line with your thinking there of, okay, yeah, he does look like a pro. He looks like somebody who can just pull off ridiculous stuff. And he also caught the catch that put him in position to, like across the middle of the field, put them in position, to get the winner. But let me just say about the dang final snap.
Speak what's on your heart, son.
Dude, so first of all, he didn't even – okay, nobody did thought to cover Jalen Hall. So in the first place, he was just standing out there. And I appreciated all the Twitter analysis that was like, in football, you throw it to this guy. And it's just pointing at Jalen Hall standing out there like, how? And he won. LB didn't even need to spike the ball because nobody was out there. And part of me like freaked out for a second there because when I heard the ready to play whistle, which is what happened, the official the back judge winds his arm and gives a ready to play whistle for all the people who are freaking out about that. Western timed it up perfect. But as that play's going on, I'm like, did I hear a whistle? Oh, God, he's wide open. Oh, God, he's going to catch it. Holy, and then he catches it, and then I'm like, oh, God, what if he had dropped that? That would have sucked. Wait, did I hear a whistle? And it's just my brain is just rocketing back and forth between all these ideas. And I keep thinking, like, what would have happened if, as bad as the officials were throughout this game, part of me was thinking, oh, God, what if because LB fake spiked it, the official had blown it dead, and they wiped off the touchdown? And how that would have broken like Twitter, because if you go back and look on our Twitter, Mac Football Forever, Mac FB Forever, you'll see me. I tweeted like just a screen cap of how they were reacting to a Mac tweet saying like, "Isn't this fun?" or whatever, and all the people were just like, "Your officials are garbage." And I love when Twitter unites to shitpost at like team accounts or conference accounts, and it happens every time there's like a contested Mac game on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and that's actually one of the parts I cherish about Mac fandom is just watching a fan base completely unite against like the officials or just one person or something, and not because like they're harassing them, but just because the unanimity of how stupid mad they are is just great. I enjoy it, and all of these things came together perfectly for everybody to appreciate what happened in the middle of a nonsense pandemic, and maybe we shouldn't be even doing this as things are skyrocketing out of control and everything feels like nonsense. But in this fleeting freaking moment, we got that magic. Like, good God, how much better does it get than that?
No, we got normalcy.
That's normal for us.
Caleb, we will get back to the fun stuff in just a little bit. We do have to talk about some not so fun stuff because this kind of just happened today. And it's a doozy, actually. It's a doozy because it's, you know, anytime like someone dies that's literally our age, it just kind of it has a certain sting, you know. It's just like, God, man, like that's my age too. But then like it's someone that like you watched and enjoyed, and like, you know, we got to see this Titus Davis man, you know, as a football player, right? But we never got to know him as a family man. He's a father of two. We don't know him of two, and he's left behind, you know, a family, and that's what's really sad here. But I'm kind of jumbling around. Do you kind of want to introduce the life of Titus Davis that we have to celebrate tonight?
Yeah. So, I mean, and what Mac fans are going to know him for is just being the guy who was the model of excellence and consistency during his time there, but the anecdotes that you hear from like his former coaches, people, he grew up in like the northern Illinois suburbs of Chicago, and played for Storied high school football program. His old coach, Ron Muhich, put out a statement as well about the family. Obviously, you guys, well, at least a lot of you know Corey Davis is Titus Davis's brother. Their family is extremely well thought of. Those two are extremely well thought of. The types of things they do off the field. For somebody to go through that type of issue with the cancer and the kidney disease, like, it's so hard to fathom that someone that age, our age, had to go through that, and that somebody who's left this type of impact on, even if it's not like yes, a pretty large sizable audience, but like such a niche audience that it like means so much more to fans and Mount Pleasant and MAC fans. Because there are a few football players in the MAC in my time as a fan I've enjoyed watching more than Titus Davis.
Yeah, he was super excellent. Like, he was one of those guys. When I went to Eastern, I started like really starting to hate Central because like it was fun. I got to like have a rival school, right? But Titus Davis is one of those guys where I'm like, I can't root against you because you're just so good. Like, I respect you so bad.
It's when you hear these former players, I don't know, like, it just seems like the impact they left is still so lasting. As somebody who gives a crap about this conference and who cares about these teams, and to see the reaction of like the Central fans and the fans, even the fans of like Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan, kind of responding on Twitter about it, it just was like a gut punch. But like, I mean, I just myself, like, I've been like kind of leafing through old stuff and places and just articles from people like MLive wrote an article about him today and about the type of impact he left, and Danny Enos, the old Central coach, was his coach, and kind of issued a statement about it, and took the time to do that. And I mean, he was a pro caliber guy. He was a Mid-American Conference all-conference selection 4 times. But most of the anecdotes and things,
freshman, I believe.
Yeah, freshman All-American, and the anecdotes are so much more about his off-the-field stuff and the type of personality he was and genuine person he seemed to be. I am curious to kind of hear what Corey Davis has to say. I haven't seen anything about that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Davis has never been like an outlandish personality. Neither of them really have. Just like this. I
don't think Titus Davis is even on Twitter.
Yeah, like they're not. It's not that they're not outgoing. Like Titus Davis had this like outstanding smile and seemed to just generally love the hell out of life. But like you could be like quiet man on campus and still be the big guy and be the guy who everybody looks up to, and it's just he seems like he was that guy. And this one, it stings. No connection on my end. Didn't even see him play every year as an Ohio fan, but like obviously got to write about him when I was when Alex and I were old hustle builders and whatnot. So kept enough close tabs on him that something like this it's like gut punch. It doesn't feel right.
I apologize if I mispronounce it, but just to get it on record, what he died of was renal medullary.
Renal medullary carcinoma.
Say it one more time.
Renal medullary carcinoma.
Thank you, because that was actually the first time I had tried saying it out loud. I didn't practice before this. 27 years old, a rare form of cancer, 3,700 receiving yards, caught the ball 204 yards in a CMU uniform. 37 times he got into the end zone. One of the most important plays ever, though. And this, oh my goodness, like I know we have to kind of turn the mood around on here, yeah. But to help celebrate his life, let's look at the last play he ever put on in a CMU uniform. And it was at the first ever Bahamas Bowl against Western Kentucky in 2014. Yep, 2014. It was the day before or after Christmas. I think it was the day before Christmas. I think that's when they had it. And, oh, my God, the Hail Mary play. Oh.
I can't believe they even caught the ball in the first place.
Right. Oh, my God, pitch. Whoop. Let's go.
Backwards. No, go.
Oh my God! Like the fact that the last lateral wasn't intercepted either.
Like, and they still didn't win, and that hurts to think
Oh my
about.
God!
Oh man, like MAC teams don't normally perform well in bowl games anyway, but like anything that they give us fun from it is like the best part of it usually. CMU's given us some really fun moments in non-conference games and bowl games over the course of the last couple decades. So, and this is as fun to remember as any of them.
That really set the tone for the rest of the Bahamas Bowls too. Not to get too off topic here, but the Bahamas Bowls were like always got crazy after that. Like that whole game, man, that was a great bowl game too. And then like all the MAC games that followed in the Bahamas Bowl, those all became equally exciting. But yeah, if that's the first time you've ever seen a Titus Davis play, I can't wait for you to find some time to go onto YouTube and then subscribe to our YouTube channel and then go down the rabbit hole and search some Titus Davis clips because he was fun. I saw he was listed at like 6'3", 230. I don't remember that. I thought he looked smaller. He played big, but
he was a big dude though. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's any bigger than a lot of other receivers out there, but he was like
because he was agile enough to like play the role of a smaller dude. Like he played like a 6'1", 195 guy,
but just also play over top you, be physical, and they wanted to go with the ball at all times, and you still don't stop them.
We went through the games. We talked about what happened, but let's kind of go back and look at some individual performances. Who is deserving of some helmet stickers? And at the end of this, we will end this episode by giving out this weekly game ball. The Mac
Game Ball.
Forever Game Ball.
God.
Game Ball!
Imagine being so honored as to have the first ever Mac Football Forever Game Ball.
All right, Caleb, start handing out some helmet stickers.
So how about for this helmet stickers case, we just start where a lot of the helmet stickers came from. I mean, defensively, guys like Deontay Johnson for Toledo was all over the field and probably a little exhausted, 9 tackles at the end of the night, and helped keep Toledo in front early. Western, Bryson Garner, Trayshawn Hayward, Corbin Monfent, Marshawn Nealand, all 10-plus tackles. I mean, Western's defense did a bunch of tackles for loss, right?
Oh, yeah, they got in the backfield 10 times. I mean, they needed to. They really needed to because Toledo can blow up for a lot of big plays. Sometimes they responded to those tackles for losses with big plays afterwards, but you needed 10. You really did.
Without even getting into it, just Toledo played in front of the chain so much and still converted so many times. Western still won. It's whatever. Anyway, but part of the reason is who else is getting helmet stickers? Eskridge, dude, 7 catches, 131 yards, touchdown. His touchdown speeding away across the middle of the field was just chef's kiss. The moment he catches it, he's gone. Just mwah.
Yeah, he can have an extra one for like each Rocket defender that he embarrassed. Like every time he got the ball.
Every time he touched the ball was impressive. Last night or Wednesday night rather.
Legit receiver. Sky Moore, you get one too. I mean, 3 catches, 85 yards, 1 tutty. Sean Tyler, 8 catches. A lot of those were, like I said,
right at the end.
Out of the backfield at the end of the game to speed your way into Toledo territory. Big part of the game plan. Sean Tyler. Jalen Hall, you might as well get one. You only had 2 catches, but you had the best one. You had the good one.
Nice catch, bro. Way to not drop that.
Yeah, way to like disguise yourself in like your 6'4" body of armor.
It's because he's skinny.
Oh yeah, he just blends in.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. Caleb Ellaby, another big performance. Is all things considered, pretty much his biggest game so far. You probably
Ryan Kovac, did we give him one yet?
Go back, you get a sticker. Boom.
7 catches out of running back. I mean, yeah, he had a huge game running, but 7 catches out of the backfield.
Ryan Kovac, useful. That's your sticker. Buffalo and Miami, there's a couple career markers that some guys made. Jarrett Patterson recently went over 3,000. Kevin Marks passed 2,000 in the game against Miami. But, I mean, you could just keep giving them away to the offense in general, Antonio.
Yeah, seriously, like we have a book of stickers over here, and we can just give it to everybody that played both sides for Buffalo. I mean, You all did so much.
Like, at this point, it's like your high school football coaches saying, hey, you were on special teams when we trapped the opposing team inside the 20-yard line on the kickoff. You get a helmet sticker. We're just giving them out for the Buffalo like that. They were so good that pretty much everybody deserves a sticker. Offensive line does not get enough credit for Buffalo. They're so inconsistent. Miami did not get home on a sack, and Buffalo structures its offense intelligently enough to keep Ventries off his butt, and they are just so unheralded, do not get the respect they deserve. So Buffalo's offensive line absolutely deserves it.
Jarrett Patterson, 3,000 career yards. Kevin Marks, 2,000 career yards, had a 100-yard performance for yourself. Was the feature back for the game, too. Like, really muscled your way into this win. You know, Miami, when you kind of saw it last week with the Ball State game where, you know, if they get punched in the mouth against someone else's strong running a game, you know, they kind of back off a little bit. Kevin Marks flexed a little bit. So he definitely helped earn Buffalo win. I mean, everyone else performed well, but Kevin Marks really helped set the tone for Buffalo when they needed a tone to be set. Antonio Nunn, 5 catches, 137 yards. Big day for you against that defense. But really, everyone, like we said, the whole book goes to everyone who's played. A lot of those catches came from a lot of different guys. It wasn't just Antonio Nunn. Kyle Ventries had 4 touchdowns, and they were all the different receivers. When Buffalo is sharing the ball, when they have more than just 3 guys to lean on, you know, you can. That's why you can buy into 42 points more. You can buy into that being a serious target number for Buffalo to reach every game, whether it's on offense or defense.
I mean, talking about another game where things got offensive.
Caleb Huntley, you can have the entire book.
Sure.
I picked you last week, and you killed it.
Those are stickers. I'll go into something.
You also have Johannes Tyler written down. He had a good game. Absolutely.
Yeah. Really nice touchdown catch, and he's one of those other guys who's establishing himself alongside Paul. And they need that, obviously, if Plitt's going to continue to churn out good performances. You need that number 2. And, Bryson Cannon, I looked up his stats from last year, where like 20 catches for, I think, 200-something yards. And he really actually started to come along at the end of last year. So now it makes a little more sense when I looked more into it why he started to produce. But EMU's been using its tight ends, so Preston Hutchinson's got a little something going on there. He used his legs well. You can probably give stickers to Hutchinson for 3 rushing touchdowns and for demonstrating the stuff that – but even you said, you're like, he didn't really do that week 1. So – props to Hutchinson. He's making strides.
He had his miscues, but he had a fun day. 17 completions throw-in, 14 rushing attempts. So his number was called a lot, and he produced some. Not enough in certain situations where he really needed to come through, but he's young and he's learning. He's got Tanner Canoe, his buddy from high school, that caught 121 yards worth of receiving yards, had 8 catches. You know what? You guys can have extra stickers. Why not?
At this point, you just expect Canoe to like have somewhere between 4 and 7, 8 catches every game now. I think that's my expectation going forward.
Yeah, and to back you up on the Cannon thing, there's excellent beauty in Preston Hutchinson, who wears 2 gloves throwing the football, to Bryson Cannon, who only wears cleats because you legally have to wear cleats. If football were played without anything, like he'd be like, yeah, let's ball, man. Let's ball. Scoring touchdowns is his swag. Justin Hall, you get a helmet sticker because, I mean, you dominated running and receiving, keeping the streak alive of what, like 38 or 37 straight games with a catch. Teran Rush, he had 2 sacks in this game. He now leads the MAC. He's tied for the lead with 3, but strong showing in the first 2 weeks.
Akron, Ohio? I think Akron had more stand out in the losing effort, don't you think?
Sure, I guess. Let's see. We already said a few of these names. We said Tion Dollard. Zach Gibson gets some. Said Jeremy Knight, I think so. Did you say George Qualls earlier?
I did not.
Okay, let's call out some of these receivers, because George Qualls, he had 3 catches, 64 yards. Tony Grimes, 5 for 60. Nate Stewart, 5 for 59 and a score. You guys get some stickies.
I mean, Demontre Tuggle is now the feature back for Ohio too, so giving them credit for actually pulling off a win. They're all aboard the run-heavy train like we thought they would be at this point. So that kind of shifted this past week. Key Thompson, linebacker for Ohio, had an interception, sack, tackle for loss, 6 tackles. Obviously, some guys that did come up with big plays to hold Akron from scoring, even though Akron outgained them. Props to Akron and a lot of those guys' individual efforts making a difference in Akron being able to move the ball. Maybe at some point it'll actually turn into point.
Barbara Islanian, 2 sacks rather, 8 total tackles, wears a neck roll and deserves it. Kent State Bowling Green, I mean, everybody that's a freshman at Kent State at this point, I mean, you guys get helmet stickers for showing out. Against Bowling Green, 101 passing yards, 228 rushing, 69 receiving yards,
Nice.
4 touchdowns, 25 tackles, 3.5 for loss, and 1.5 sacks. I mean, that's a really ugly way of rubbing it in for Bowling Green. But, hey, you guys are getting on the field and you're getting it done.
I got to give one to Kent State's offensive coordinator, Andrew Sauter. Like, you get a headset sticker or a play sheet sticker. I'm not sure which, but I'll think about it. Smack you with it anyway. 62 points each of the last 2 times they've played BG. And at what point do you go, they're going to do the exact same thing they did to them last year, and BG just can't stop it and just be like, you know what, respect, they're not changing it up at all. So Prom came out firing. They did not hold back. They didn't even really try to establish the run at the beginning, and they didn't have to because Kent State knows what it's doing.
Dustin Crum, you get a helmet sticker, of course, 18 of 27, little under 300 yards, 4 tutties, no interceptions. Can't wait for you to see Buffalo's defense this year. But Kent State was put on a clinic. I mean, everybody that – I'm going to read off this entire box score, and if your name is listed, you're going to get a helmet sticker.
Dustin Crum, Colin Slee, Brian Bradford, Colin Slee, Marcus Cooper, Xavier Williams, Dustin Crum, Justin Benga, Jason Polk, Daniel Banger, Isaiah Wooden, McCoy, Cephas, Isaac Vance.
I mean, literally all you guys. You guys did so good. I'm proud of all of you.
I think Terrion Stewart needs a sticker for BG. 14 rushes, 164 yards, or 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, 69-yard rush. Yeah, some of it came in garbage time, but you know what? BG needs just to make demonstrative strides. So somebody's got to do it. It's not Mac McDonald right now. So they're just kind of plugging through it. I don't know if they would want to see a BG and IU game this year. And starting to think Akron's better. A lot of Kent State guys very deserving this week of stickers.
Colby Coleman had 15 tackles. Darren Anders had 9. You guys get some helmet stickers. Also, Isaiah Johnson-Mack, I forgot that you even totally went from offense to defense. You had a couple of pass breakups. You get a helmet sticker. 8 tackles. Good job. Central NIU.
Let's keep that one simple. Lou Nichols, 91 yards rushing and a touchdown. Truck stick touchdown made for a nice highlight. The defense, did what they needed to do, only give up points really in pretty much garbage time. So props to Central defense. I'll give them a helmet sticker too. I think that's probably fine. We really don't need to give any more out there.
Caleb, it is time for us to hand out this week's game ball, something new that we're doing. We gave out some helmet stickers, but who the hell gets the game ball for this week? So
for me, I wanted to give it to Buffalo's offensive line for all they did not getting their credit, but let's just, Alex came up with this idea, and I'm going to let him expand on it a little bit more, but keep it simple. The officials in the Toledo Western Michigan game livened up our whole lives.
Yeah.
It made the Twitter language very colorful last night. So, Alex, please, for the love of goodness, please explain more.
Well, we already said the 4th and 11 was short, but granted a first down. And then because of the inadvertent whistle that screwed up Toledo's defense, but Toledo's defense screwed up Toledo's defense more than the whistles did.
Yep.
You know what? The officials of Western giving all of us this drama, giving all of us what we need.
Patrick Lupro should have been an interception. There was so much stupid stuff during the course of the game. You know what? They deserve it.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're asking yourself, why do they get the game ball? They don't deserve it. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Go back and watch it.
Are we talking about them?
And if you're not sure why they deserve the game ball after you rewatch it, I ask you, should you rewatch it again? And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Yes, you should.
They should. They want you to go back. This, just even talking about this makes me want to go back and watch it. So you know what? Yeah, very likable pick. I think this is spot on.
Caleb, let's end on this question that I'm going to ask you. Next week is the third week of action. Obviously, we'll get there if we mask up and wash our hands. But assuming we get there, what storyline are you looking to learn more from or watch unfold? Because it's not going to be Kent State Buffalo week just yet.
Right.
We'll get there.
I don't know. I keep doing the points that aren't sexy. I like learning about where these middling teams are. I like thinking about where Ball State's at. I said that last week. So for this, let's go ahead with Central. I am really interested in whether Daniel Richardson is the guy that we think he is, and whether Caleb Ellaby is just that much better, perhaps. I think we could have had an early argument about who's the better quarterback in the MAC West. And just after the first game Richardson had, and even with the shortcomings. I'm really interested in seeing what Central Michigan does next. Central's the one that I would want to see them come out and offensively look put together.